They call it a democracy, but there's no point voting if both parties are basically the same. Is this the big flaw in our system? And is there any point participating? And can it ever change? I spoke on my podcast Under the Skin to Matt Taibbi, brilliant journalist. Under the Skin's a podcast I do over on Luminary. It's a subscription model. If you want to get it, you can get it. Matt Taibbi explains how the Democrat Party in particular foreclosed on its principles, accepted different type of funding, ending the possibility of meaningful political alternatives forever. Stay to the end of this conversation because Matt Taibbi is a proper journalist. He told me that when he's writing stuff, he speaks to 10, 20 people before forming an opinion from a diverse array of backgrounds. He's one of those people as well that people try to censor and shut down because he's open and honest about stuff. I would say he's pretty far from right wing. I'd say he's to the left of the Democrat Party, and that can be a hard place to be these days. Believe me. Stay to the end of the video. Give us your comments. If you're not subscribing yet, subscribe because only 48% of you do. You're going to love Matt Taibbi. You're going to love this conversation. You should consider subscribing to his Substack, but have a look for yourself for free right now.
To me, it suggests that the Democrat Party, the left, as let's call them for now, like are not really connected to a direct set of values. They're in the service of the same big business interests as we always sort of understood that the Republicans were, and they have to sort of mask that by emphasizing the areas where they're different in order to sort of create the impression of difference at all.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think the Democratic Party and the people who vote for the Democratic Party are a little bit distinct. You know, you can trace back pretty concretely what happened to the Democratic Party, and they got wiped out in 1984 and 1988, and the party leadership decided to make a change. So they started taking a lot of money from Wall Street, from the oil and gas industry, from pharmaceutical companies, from all those places, same places. And as you say, they became basically indistinct from the Republicans on those issues. And the rest of it, the social aspect of it, was really at that point, I think, became just for show. Because if you're not really for sort of economic justice for ordinary people, then what does it really mean that you're pro-choice or you're for gay rights? It's a good thing. I'm not disputing that, but it does mean that they made a really crucial internal compromise to their values that I think has expressed itself more and more lately. And now we're seeing it come out with areas like civil liberties, which were once sacrosanct, and were a key dividing line in how we thought ourselves or how the Democratic Party thought of itself versus the Republicans. And now it's the opposite. Now, like, the Democratic Party is, the most pro-censorship party. They're the first people to be dismissive of the rights of the accused, or any of those things, or habeas corpus. They don't, what does that stuff matter? Like, it's good people and bad people. That's all they matter. That's all it matters. So yeah, I think you're right. If they were able to con people into buying this other version of liberalism that isn't all the way, then it was never really all that stable to begin with.
Is it the professional class of people don't like sort of when it, sort of working class people? And in the countries we're talking about, the majority of those working people are still like white. You can probably, you can sort of say really just in pure numbers. Is that a significant thing? Has there always been a kind of antipathy? And then perhaps as it's come up, do you think that these divisive issues that have been exacerbated by COVID, Brexit, Trump being just a couple of examples, have somehow legitimized pre-existing cultural tensions that were always there and just waiting to be somehow realized?
Did you enjoy that conversation? Did it help you to understand democracy a little bit better? Let me know in the comments below what questions you still have, what guests you'd like to see. Most importantly of all, please stay free.